Do you have free will? The question isn't do you have free will, it's do you have free will? It's who is the I that has or hasn't got free will? So who is this person that you believe has the ability to choose to be sitting here, or to walk out this room, or to go and sit in the other room, or I can't think of things to do, go and have pop. We don't actually call it pop in England. That's an American thing, I think. We actually call it fizzy drink. Okay, so chocolate, whatever. So who is this one that chooses to do things? I'm not being very inventive tonight with choosing the things. So who is this one that chooses to do things? Like, so that's the question. Like, who are you? Who is it that's in these bodies? Who is it that's in there? So what we do most of our life is we have the feeling, even though it's not conscious, that we are people existing inside these bodies. And then as soon as that happens, then there's like these tentacles that come out that claim everything. So it claims, I am the chooser, I am the doer, I am the speaker, I am the hearer, I am the seer, I am the runner, I am the sitter, I am everything. Me, 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 me. But who is that? Who? So when we were born, we aren't anybody, but yet there is this alive presence that's experiencing. There is this beingness, this way of being that, or this aliveness that is there. And then as the baby begins to age, there begins to be this contraction and this holding onto things in which it is. So prior to the baby having any sense of who it simply was. There was this alive presence, and there wasn't even anyone that knew the live presence. It just was alive, radical presence. And then the baby began to claim, this is my hand, this is my face, this is my hair, this is my clothes, this is my body, this is my chair, this is my dog. And it slowly grew. These are my behaviors, these are my ways of being. And then it identifies with this character. And this character has relevance to functioning in society. So there is like some functioning of this character appearing, but because there is this identification solely with the person, then there's something else that's missed that begins to be hidden. And then there becomes suffering when you get lost in the person. And what that is the beingness that was there prior to identification. So right now, you aren't anything. There is seemingly a character that is things, that's rich, poor, nice, not nice. And then there is this beingness, which is bigger than it all. And that beingness is not a thing. It doesn't go in time. It's not a thing. It's not something you can claim and say, oh, beingness looks like this, or beingness looks like that, or aliveness looks like this or that. It's not something you can grab hold of. It is right here. It's experiencing itself, and it's present, but it's not separate from itself. So the experiencer and the experienced are one and the same thing. The feeling and the felt are one and the same thing. And when that's forgotten and you're just identified with the person, then suffering begins, because what happens is you're looking for that freedom of who you are in the person. So you're looking for it in behaviors. Maybe you're looking for it in becoming enlightened. Maybe you're looking for it in having a bigger house, in living in a particular country, in going shopping. I don't know, whatever it is. Hang on, just let me make sure my microphone and everything is working. Hello? Yes, it is. I suddenly got insecure. I'd kept the microphone off. So this momentum, this seeking energy is looking for freedom in time. And there's never freedom in time. There's only ever freedom in what is, in what's happening right now, right here. It's so close to us. It's love. And it's not in fixing your dynamics. It's not in psychology. It's not in fixing the chakras. Even though all of that's a great thing to do, it's always nicer to be kinder to your environment through picking up your own shit. But that's not it. Like, the dynamics will go on with that body. So if you have fear when you see a dog, that's part of the karma of that body. It's the knowing of who you are that's the freedom. It's the energetic movement to who you are beyond that. And that's something that arises in this. And there's nothing wrong with dynamics. They're part of being human. I got into this subject the opposite way round from most people. So most people, they first off start with like years and years of therapy, of understanding themselves, their family dynamics. So maybe when they first start getting depressed, they go to therapy or something. Whereas I did go to therapy when I was younger as well, but I got into this at such a young age that my character really hadn't formed. It was still in formation or something, and there was still a lot that needed to be sorted out. And a lot got sorted out with non-duality. But it's not that. Like, I still have issues. And I suspect other teachers still have issues, but maybe they don't even call them issues. That's part of being human. Like so for your human to be afraid when your partner speaks a certain way, that's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But in that, there's also a freedom. So your person is getting triggered by your partner, and then there is a freedom that's behind that or all around that. What happens when we're identified with the person solely? We're always looking for it in the future. So we're looking for it in the other behaving a certain way. It doesn't mean that we don't request that, but it's not your freedom, them behaving a certain way, or you having a particular relationship, or you not having fear. That's part of this thing called being human. But then there's something beyond that that's totally and utterly free. And what's so disappointing to most seekers is that they don't become enlightened, like the person doesn't become enlightened, because a lot of teachers imply that you are going to become a super person. And even myself, I'm sure, like, imply that as well. And it does change the person, but the person is still the person. And that's not the point. And that's so disappointing to the person, because the person always wants things for itself. It's like, I want to be the best sort of person I can be. I want to be loved by everyone. I want to be all powerful and never vulnerable again. I want to never make a mistake. And to me, that is the lie of enlightenment. Although I'm open to it being possible, and I just haven't realized it as well. Like, that hasn't happened here, that my person hasn't become enlightened. So I'm open to that. Like, we never know. To me, it's this movement back. There's another energetic thing happens that's a movement back or forwards to something that you always are in every moment. And in me, there can be old dynamics that arise, and there's always the openness to change them. But I also see that, like, our conditions of these bodies are really strong. And if you believe it's about the conditions of the body becoming a certain way, then the seeking will emerge and then try to make you a perfect person. And there will be seeking about that. And I can actually have old, what I would call seeking patterns. So old ways of being in which I sought. So, you know, yeah, as well. But then there's this other radical freedom that's bubbling in the background, that's here all around us, that doesn't care if your person is good or bad, or the other is good or bad, or right or wrong, or needs to do this or needs to do that, or get this or get that. It's totally free, experiencing itself. Alive, present, radical, expanded, juicy, love. And that's only here. That is this moment, that is what's experiencing. And then the character's experiences of feelings and thoughts are coming and going in this, but that doesn't make a solid entity with free will. There's an appearance of free will, so it appears like you can choose an orange over an apple, but it doesn't actually make someone that does. So you can have memories about when you were 12 years old, when you picked to go on a roller coaster and you hurt your knee, but that's simply memories. What happens with identification is all of that gets brought into a bundle, and that becomes you. your life and your choice, and you're sort of working through life, you're going through life, whereas actually you're always here and life is going through you. It's the other way around, or life is you, if you want to get very poetic about it. But the person believes that it's moving through time and it's moving through this world, whereas that's never your actual experience. Your experience is there is everything, and that is coming and going in who you are. And that's free. And everything about your person is totally divine and allowed and good and beautiful. Every part of it. And I can notice over the years since that big awakening, there's still this relaxing into being an imperfect, perfect human. All of it's okay. All of it, every part. Because there's never anybody here that chooses to be any of it. You can either look at it through time, that it comes from karma, or you can look at it from this moment, and it's simply appearing. It's simply appearing out of spaciousness.